What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video up on the MVP. I know it has been close. You got Kawhi Leonard, you got KD. Those my two MVPs so far. It's Kawhi Leonard and KD. I'm giving the edge slightly to KD. He's been struggling a little bit lately. Some 40% games, some 20% games. Right now in Memphis, he's shooting 20% right now. Maybe he can pick that up. But he's still shooting 53% from the field, 37 from three. He's an excellent free throw shooter. Still to this day, clocking in at 87%, 37 from three, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, and he only averaging 2.3 turnovers. And I know a lot of people going to say, well, he has more talent. He has less responsibility than Russell Westbrook and James Harden. And I tell people that they're wrong. Because remember, when Russell Westbrook went down, he averaged 32.7 rebounds and 5 assists, and he only averaged 3.5 turnovers a game compared to the 5 plus that James Harden and Russell Westbrook is averaging. Russell Westbrook averaging 5.4, James Harden averaging 5.8, and on top of that, he still shot 39 from 3 and 50% from the field and 87 from the free throw line, and he still put up monster numbers all around the board. And Kevin Durant shows you why he was the best out of that group in OKC, because he was able to remain efficient from the field, whether it was a 3-point or just a regular field, and still take care of the ball, averaging only 3.5 turnovers a game. And he still led them to the highest they ever won, which I believe was 59 games at that point. They finished second in the West. I think that's the highest they ever finished too. And on top of that, he won MVP. Now you have the case for Kawhi Leonard. Right now, they most likely gonna finish second in the West and second in the NBA because Greg Popovich been resting players. He been trying out different lineups. Kawhi Leonard has some small injuries, not major injuries, but some small ones, some ticky-tack injuries. He's still shooting 48 from the field, 39% from three, 90 from the free throw line. He has a chance to do 50, 40, and 90 this season if he can just up his field goal percentage to the 50% that he usually shoot. He averaged 47% as a career. He shot 49, 49, 52, 47, 50%, and 48%. He's learning how to control games. He's learning how to take over games while still remaining efficient and dominant, whether it's the fourth quarter or just the whole game in general. Of course, you're going to have off games every once in a while because you may not shoot the ball well. You may didn't get that much sleep. You may have had a back-to-back and you're just tired. And it's a part of being in the NBA, so you have to adjust and adapt to that. Now, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, they have less talent than OKC in the Spurs. They carry a huge burden, and on top of that, they still have to go out there and win games with the talent that they have. Of course, James Harden has more talent. Well, not that much, but he has a little bit more talent than Russell Westbrook because he has a deeper rotation. The Thunder still have a good enough rotation. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs, but Dallas had injuries with Dirk, Darren Williams, Wesley Matthews. They had injuries in the beginning. Anthony Davis, Tyree Evans, Drew Holiday wasn't healthy at the start of the season. So it's a lot of teams in that West that have been going through turmoil. Even the Minnesota Timberwolves, they almost in the playoffs, and they had injuries. Like I said about Portland, the Portland Trail Blazers, they was unexpected last year. This season, people know what plays they're running. People are prepared for them. People know how to stop them because they seen what they can do last year. Last year, Portland surprised a lot of people. This year, like I said, is not going to happen because people know how to prepare for them. And they basically brought back the same roster that they had last year. They paid a lot of money in the offseason to keep their players around, like Allen Crabbe. They got Evan Turner. They paid a couple more players to stay. They made some moves that they could make, and now they're stuck. This is what they have. If they can't make a trade, they're probably going to just be locked in at the 8th seed going against Golden State in the first round. I'd rather get a first round top 12 pick than go against Golden State. But that's how they want to rebuild. I'd rather not make the playoffs and get a top 10 pick than make the playoffs and lose to Golden State in the first round, because that team really only got CJ and Damian Lillard. Other than that, they basically have role players that just do what they can do. And if you take them away from that, they really can't do much else. And they rely so much on Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum to create all their offense. And and like CJ McCollum is a good player because he's able to dominate while still staying efficient. 48% from the field, 40% from three, and he's not turning over the ball that much either. And that's my whole case why I can't give MVP to Russell Westbrook or James Harden. Yes, they're carrying more of a load. Yes, they're carrying more of a burden. But like CJ McCollum, like Kevin Durant, like Kawhi Leonard, they're not doing it efficiently. So I got Kevin Durant number one because his defense has improved a lot this season. And I showed you that in my NBA breakdown. All you got to do is go to my channel, click on my channel, and go to NBA breakdowns, and you're going to see Kevin Durant is taking smarter shots. He's taking more efficient shots. But he always did that in his career, and he's doing it again in Golden State. He's struggling a little bit from the three-point line, but that will come as the season go. He'll get his three-point shot back. But with that being said is, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they're running up. They're running it up. They're running up the scoreboard. They're running up the assists. They're running up the turnovers. They're taking a lot of shots a game to get their team to where they have to go. And as long as you're winning games, you can't really blame them. But Russell Westbrook is shooting 41% from the field and 33% from the three-point line, 82 from the free throw line. He averaging 5.4 turnovers, and he's getting 10 rebounds, 10 assists. That's difficult to get that many rebounds when you're a point guard, but Steven Adams is not even averaging 10 rebounds a game. And on top of that, Enes Kanter is coming off the bench playing 23 to 25 minutes a game. So their biggest players and their best rebounders are not even on the floor that much. So all those rebounds are loose, and they have stretch four and down to Domantas Montaigne playing the stretch four to stretch out that defense. So he's not even grabbing that many rebounds. Russell Westbrook getting a lot of long rebounds. He's chasing rebounds. He's getting a couple offensive rebounds, but it's really his big man that haven't been doing their job because they're playing a stretch four, and they got all their players on the perimeter, which open up the ability for Russell Westbrook to get more rebounds. Same with James Harden. Their only real rebounder is Clint Capella. If Clint Capella not grabbing rebounds, anybody else on the team can grab them. That's why you see James Harden averaging a career high in rebounds. Because when Dwight Howard was down there, he was grabbing 12 to 14 to 15 rebounds a game, sometimes 20-20s. But now that they don't have that interior presence, even though Clint Capella is a decent player, he's not a elite defender or elite rebounder at this point in his career yet. And James Harden has to go in there and gang rebound, grab some rebounds here, grab some rebounds there, and he has to do it consistently for his team to win. Same with Russell Westbrook. Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard might be doing it more efficiently, which is more important, but Russell Westbrook and James Harden are doing more for their team from other areas, like rebounding and getting more assists, while Durant and Kawhi Leonard are just getting their rebounds, getting their points, and shooting a sky-high field goal percentage and three-point percentage, which I value efficiency, less turnovers, more shots made, less shots taken, but you're still averaging a good amount, 25 points a game, and you're still shooting the ball efficiently from three and from the field and less turnovers than have a guy that's shooting low from the field and having a lot of turnovers. So I can't really give MVP to James Harden or Russell Westbrook because they're averaging a lot of points, but they're taking a lot of shots. And on top of that, they're averaging 5+ turnovers a game, which is going to break a record for two players averaging 5+ turnovers. And then you got to include John Wall too. And then on top of that, you have them shooting a very low percentage, like 41% for Russell Westbrook, 43 for James Harden, and they're barely at the 3-point percentage. Russell Westbrook is below 36%, and James Harden is barely there. He was shooting higher. He's at 34%. So they're not really efficient players. That's why I can't really put them as dominant, like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird type players. Maybe when they get great players again, because James Harden shot a high field goal when he played with Russell and Kevin Durant. But Russell Westbrook always been a volume scorer anyway. So even when he played with great talent, he still was a volume scorer, and he still averaged a lot of turnovers. Even when he played with Kevin Durant and James Harden, you can go back and look up the numbers. But as long as they stay inefficient, it's going to be hard for me to give them MVP. Plus, Russell Westbrook is seventh in the West, below top 10 record wise in the whole NBA. And then James Harden, he's only really third in the West because Chris Paul is injured. Because remember, the Clippers was a top 3 team, and they still would be if Chris Paul and Blake Griffin didn't get injured. But you have to give credit to James Harden. He's been struggling from the field. He's been turning the ball over like crazy the last couple months. With January and February, they've been losing more games, and he's been less efficient the last 2 months. But you still got to give credit. They still winning games, and he won enough games to be the third seed. Whether Chris Paul got injured and Blake Griffin got injured or not, he still won enough games to take over that seed. Will they finish as the third seed? We will have to see. But right now, they are the third seed in the West. So, and one of the top teams in the NBA record-wise. But you gotta give credit to James Harden for doing it. He did it before, but Dwight Howard was injured. He carried the team, but they gave MVP to Steph Curry because he was more efficient, more dominant, and had less turnovers and stuff like that. And that's what I'm gonna say this year. It's probably gonna go to KD or Kawhi Leonard, whoever finished number one in the West, and they putting up efficient numbers and still scoring. Like KD not putting up numbers you can sneeze at. 53% from the field, 37 from three. Then you got 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Those are with 26 points a game. Those are MVP quality numbers. And on top of that, Kawhi Leonard putting up the same numbers, but he averaging less rebounds. But he's playing harder on the defensive end, basically locking out a whole side of the court. And you gotta give him MVP. Finished second last year, and now they're gonna have the second best record again. So you gotta give them a lot of credit for winning. Like winning is all that matter, and that's why James Harden might win it over Russell Westbrook because he's winning more games with less talent. But like I said, it didn't work against Steph Curry. He finished second in MVP voting when he did that in Houston with Dwight Howard. So they might not give him credit for that. So right now, I think it's going to be KD or Kawhi Leonard. That's my one and my two. James Harden third, Russell Westbrook fifth, and LeBron James sixth because he's putting up amazing numbers too. But they've been on a losing streak. So, well, losing months. So you have to go with the people that's winning consistently, which is the Spurs and the Warriors. So you have to give them consideration. Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, for winning. So that's all I'm doing. Let me know what you guys think. Who should be MVP? If I'm wrong, if I'm right, is hypocritical. I'm trying to look at it as many perspectives as I can. So let me know who MVP to you. No, and we can debate about it in the comment section below.